So this is actually the part that I kind of hate. I'm going to have to rotate the vise to cut that triangular piece into there. So basically I'm going to be cutting this into one of these. So I've actually got to rotate the vise around so it's facing like this. That way I can cut that one off. So this particular vise is a little bit different than most. It's kind of nice in a lot of ways. It's got the swivel base built into it, whereas most of them, the vise will actually sit on top of the swivel base. It's still, it's made by Kurt, so it's a good quality vise. It's a Bridgeport name brand, so it was made by Kurt for Bridgeport. It's actually got a little bubble indicator right here that's good enough, you know, it'll be good enough for doing these 60 degrees, and it's good enough for getting it started to be squared back up, but yeah, it won't do a good exact square. You gotta do that with an indicator. Also part of this vise, this T-slot clamping mechanism that's inside there. It took me a little while to figure out, because I didn't know what the parts were. And when I bought this mill, it came with just boxes of parts. And the clamp itself was actually clamped on using regular T-nuts and rockers and bolts and or nuts. And it was just clamped to the mill originally, and in this box of parts were just these odd looking little parts. I went around and asked to quite a few forums, you know, posting pictures. It took me a while to find out actually where this vise came from and everything. You know, a lot of people thought it was a Kurt knockoff, and I finally found one person was actually able to find somebody selling a similar one on eBay, and it had all the pictures of all the parts, and probably most importantly, it had the make and model of it. So I was able to utilize that to figure out how all of these parts work, and that actually helped me get them all get this so that I can mount this vise like this. So there's two nameplates here that have long since lost any ink on them, and there's a serial number stamp right here, but that's about all that's left of any kind of information on that. But I found out one of these was a warning if you're taking extremely large cuts to add the additional clamps like it was originally clamped down, and the other one is the Bridgeport by Kurt nameplate with the serial number and everything on it. So here I just make sure it's good and tight. Alright, so that'll be set up for that cut. Once that one's done, I'll pull that out and put this in, and I'll true up this one with the line here. I will be swapping out this bit when I go to cut this. For this piece, I can actually use this 1/2 inch end mill to finish the whole thing. So I'll do the horizontal cut this way. For now, to get this part ready, I'm going to go clean up some of these burrs so it'll sit in the vise clean, and I'll blue and actually mark out the triangle on the top. I added a little bit of layout dye, and I cut this in. This ends up being about 900 thou on a side for just an equilateral triangle. That gives you enough room for the about 100 thou, which is about the size of the nails that I was using to bend into the triangles. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out. So that's how I had, made this original bending jig. It was just kind of a simple idea. Comes from probably watching too many how it's made shows. Just two pieces that press together. bend it to the shape it's supposed to be in. Now I have two of these guys. I suppose Halifax was asking for one, so looks like I'll send this one to him. I know he had mentioned a few things about trying to make them out of wood and that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's not likely ever going to work all that well. But this is just a gun bluing kit picked up from Walmart. Nice thing about a gun bluing is that it's sort of a controlled rusting. Basically the metal will oxidize to a certain point and then stop. And then it helps deter further rusting. And it looks cool too. Just gonna brush this onto here over the whole thing. I've been doing this to a lot of my stuff lately, including some of my tools. I live here in Gilbert, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix, and it's hot and dry, but you know, here in the shop I have a swamp cooler, which kind of adds humidity to the air. Bad thing is, tools can sit in my toolbox, get a little coating of surface rust on them. So I started, you know, anything that does that, clean them up. I use some of this rust dissolver gel on them. It works okay. You can look online. I know all the other machinist YouTubers have done rust removal videos. Cover it all pretty well. It seems electrolysis or vinegar are the two best methods. If you have an old battery charger, you can use electrolysis, or just plain old white vinegar. Neither one of them are super fast. That stuff seemed to work okay, and it was fairly fast, 10 or 15 minutes versus, you know, overnight for most of the other solutions. The other solutions did seem to work probably better. But that worked well enough. You know, this one's not taken very well because I don't think I cleaned this one up very good. Probably still had some cutting oil on it. Yeah, I'm gonna wipe this one down. Go over and hit it with some brake cleaner. Alright. Degreased, now it should work. Ah, yeah, that's the way it's supposed to do it. This stuff's pretty cheap, actually. I picked this up at Walmart for $7, I think. You do want to use gloves because it is an acid. It will burn your skin. It's fairly mild, but avoid skin contact. Wear glasses, wear respirators. Only use in a well-ventilated area. hard hat, knee brace, maybe one of those padded helmets, like the karate style ones. A condom would probably be good, just in case, you know, safety first. You never know, right? Always think safety in the shop. Maybe even two condoms. All right. Try this. We're in the shop. It's all about just trying stuff, right? Of course, it's mildly obvious, you know, putting gun blue on steel is gonna turn it blue or black. So, I have a steel nail here. Now it's black. Blackish. All right. That's it. I'm going to bed at a decent hour tonight. Good night, everybody.